Hello, everyone. It's a great honor to be presenting at the 12th International Conference for Smart Society. My name is Jennifer Jane, and today I will share our research on consumer perception of smart home technologies. Smart home technologies are no longer just futuristic concepts, they are already part of our daily lives. From smart lighting and voice assistants to home security systems, these technologies promise more comfort, efficiency, and safety. However, adoption is not the same everywhere. In developed countries, adoption is growing quickly, while in emerging markets such as Indonesia, adoption is slower and shaped by culture, infrastructure, and local behavior. Today, I'll be presenting about the introduction, research method, result and discussion, research implication, and also conclusion of this paper. The rise of smart home technologies is changing how people interact with their living spaces, from smart lights to security cameras. These technologies promise more comfort, efficiency, and control. However, adoption is still inconsistent, especially in developing countries. This study explores what drives or hinders consumer acceptance of smart home devices, focusing on how factors like ease of use, usefulness, trust, cost, and social influence shape people's intention to adopt these technologies. Okay, next to research method, the first is data collections. In this study, we use a quantitative approach through an online survey using Google Form. This method was chosen because it is simple, efficient, and allows us to reach a wide and diverse group of respondents. Next is units or measurements. We use a Likert scale from 1 to 5 to measure perceived usefulness, ease of use, social influence, and trust in brand. We also use perceived cost to measured by actual monetary values or local currency or Likert scale for affordability. Next is intention to adopt, which is measured by with both yes or no questions and a Likert scale. Next is demographics, including age and years and monthly income. To analyze data, we apply two models of equations. The first is the multiple regression model, which tests the effects of five predictors, which is usefulness, ease of use, cost, social influence, and trust on the intention to adopt smart home technologies. Okay, the second is the Technology Acceptance Model, or TAM, which focuses on two key drivers, which are perceived usefulness and perceived ease of use, and how they shape the behavioral intention. These models help us to understand both broad influences and the specific role of usability in adoption. Okay, there are also some common mistakes in this research, which includes Likert scale limitations, which respondents may not see the difference between agree and strongly agree. There's also overlapping concepts, which variables like usefulness and trust may overlap with the test of VIF. There's also missing variables like age, income, and tech literacy often ignored. There's also poor survey design, unclear or double-barreled questions, reduced reliability. There's also measurement issues that needs clarity, for example, age in years, income manually or annually. There's also reliability and validity, which uses Conbrach alphas or validity tests. There's also, lastly, assuming linearity, which many models assume linear relations without testing. Okay, the next is result and discussions. Their reliability and validity were tested using a composite reliability, Convex alphas, and average variance extracted AVE, EE, VC, HM, and PE met their reliability threshold alpha is bigger than zero point 0.7, while AI, SI, and TR did not. All variables have AVE more than zero point 0.5, indicating convergent validity. Okay, the next is R square. The R square value for adoption intention, or AI, is 0.507, indicating that the independent variables explains 50.7% of its variance, while 49.3% is influenced by factors outside this study. There's also the model of fit test that shows SRMR, which is 0.074, which is below 0.08. There's also NFI, which is 0.676, which is lower than 0.9. There's also RMS test theta, which is 0.186, which is close to zero, indicating that the model meets sustainability criteria and effectively describes the relationships within or between variables. Okay, there's also effort expectancy, which is EE, has a significant direct impact on adoption intention, or AI, with p-value below 0.05, whereas facilitating conditions, or FC, hedonic motivation, or HM, performance expectancy, or PE, social influence, SI, and trust in brand shows no significant direct relationships as their p-values exceeded 0.05. Okay, next is the research implication. This study found that the performance expectancy, effort expectancy, facilitating conditions, hedonic motivation, and social influence, also trust and brand, all positively influence adoption intention, explaining 50.7% of its variance. The remaining variance suggested other external factors may also affect adoption from a marginal perspective, enhancing perceived usefulness, ease of use, brand trust, and user enjoyment is key. Supported by adequate infrastructure and peer recommendations, model fits in the size SM, SRMR, which is 0.074, NFI, which is 0.676, S theta, which is 0.186, indicate a good fit, offering valuable insights for boosting adoption of technology and digital products. Okay, so this study found that the ease of use, or effort expectancy, is the only factor that significantly affects people's intentions to adopt a product or service. When users feels like there's something that's simple and easy to use, they are more likely to try and stick with it, other than factors like performance, social influence, brand trust, and enjoyment didn't show as much as a strong impact in this case. Therefore, to improve adoption rates, businesses should focus on making their products more user friendly and reducing any barriers that make usage feel complicated or confusing. Okay, to conclude, this study um, found that we believe that this contributes both academically by extending technology adoption models and practically by guiding developers and businesses to design solutions that truly fit the customer needs. Thank you very much for your attention. I will be glad to answer any questions.